Welcome to Mimio Training Quick Learn on Demand, MimioStudio Intermediate 3 Presenting Lesson. In this session, we will talk about the Reveal tool, the Spotlight tool, the Calculator tool, the Magnifier tool, the file attachments, and screen annotation. To access a number of applications using your MimioStudio tools, you can click on the Applications button in your floating toolbar. So it's this icon right over here that looks kind of like a pencil on a paintbrush. And you see we've got a whole bunch of different options for tools that we can access here. You can learn more about Class Manager, Control, and Quick Collaborate in Mimio Go's mobile. And you can also learn about some of these other tools in other Quick Learn sessions. First, we're going to talk about the Reveal tool. The Reveal tool allows you to control when you reveal portions of your desktop. You can do this in 4 different directions based on what you see right here. So we can either pull it down from the top, up from the bottom, from the left, or from the right, depending on which direction, where the arrow is. If you click on the big blue button in the upper right-hand corner, or if you just right-click anywhere in the shaded region, you can adjust the transparency level of your Reveal screen. So here's an example of how we could use this practically in the classroom. What we're going to do is I'm going to use the Reveal to move the timeline from left to right, and then I also have an attached Word document that I'm going to open up, and we'll use that to show the math problems. So I'm going to go over here into my tools, click on Reveal, and then my screen goes gray. If I drag over from the right-hand side of my screen, or from the left-hand side of my screen, you'll see I can just hide a part of it. So I have part of my timeline showing right here. I can continue to slide when I'm ready to move on to the next part, and I can continue to move it over whenever I'm ready. I can adjust the properties here by right-clicking here, then click on my transparency. If I adjust this to 20%, you'll see that I can still see through it a little bit. I can still see through it a little bit, but I'm still hiding part of my screen here. When I'm done with my Reveal, then I can just click on the X, and it goes away. When I open up my attachment, then next step in my process here, I can double-click on my Algebra 1 midterm review. Opens up the file like this, and I can use my Reveal outside of MimioStudio as well. Just click on Applications and go to Reveal, and now I can drag it down from the top, and I just want to access this problem right here. Everything else is hidden from my students. So when I'm ready to move on to the next thing, I can just slide this down, and I'm ready to go. Once again, when I'm done with my Reveal, I can click on the X, close it out, and it goes away. So that's the Reveal tool. Spotlight is very similar to the Reveal tool, but in this instance, we're going to focus attention on a specific region of the screen. Here again, we can change the size and shape of the Spotlight window, and we can also adjust the transparency level of the shaded region, either doing a right-click in the shaded region, or we can use our blue button in the upper right-hand corner. We can also, by clicking on that blue button or right-clicking on our gray area, we can adjust the size, shape, and transparency level. So you see we have options for the different kinds of shapes that we can use. We can have it be a circle, a square, a rounded square, a star, a rectangle, or a rounded rectangle. Those are our shapes options. We can also adjust the size. These are preset, predetermined sizes that we can use. And we can also set our transparency depending on how well we want it to be see-through to the content that we're showing on our screen. So here again, another demonstration. I'm going to open up this link here, and we'll use the Spotlight tool to focus on different aspects of the northern constellations. And then we'll also use it to show some of the aspects of the grasshopper. So to begin with, I'm going to open up this image, this atlas of the universe. And while that's loading, I'm going to go in here into my Spotlight tool. I'll start up my Spotlight. You see I've got a star as my selection. I can change its shape up here. Maybe I want to do a circle instead. I can do that. I'm going to right click here and maybe adjust my size. We'll make it a little bit smaller. And then I also, if I go on the border of it, you'll see that these arrows come up, and I can adjust the size like this as well. So I don't have to use the preset sizes. I can customize this a little bit based on what I want to do. Anytime I'm in the gray area outside of that, I can move my spotlight. So if I go here, I can see I've got Corona Borealis. And then when I go inside of my highlighted area, I can interact with content from there. So if there's a link or something like that, I can click on that through that circle. When I'm done with this then, I click on the X. That closes out of my spotlight. I can minimize my web browser. And now I'm going to go on to my Grasshopper. Here on my Grasshopper, I'm once again going to go into my tools. I've got my applications. I'll select Spotlight. It saves my settings from before. And this time I want to use a rounded rectangle. So we'll use that to point out the eyes. Maybe here's a knee. And if I want to adjust the size of this a little bit, I can just grab it and move it out there. And now I can use this to highlight different aspects of my Grasshopper. Calculator and Magnifier are tools that are built into your system that you use with access through your tools on your toolbar. So what we're going to do is I'll show you how to access the on-screen calculator, and then we'll do a quick calculation. I'm going to go over here once again into my applications, and I'm going to click on More Tools, and then go to Calculator. That brings up my system calculator. And then we'll just do a real quick calculation. 2 plus 2 equals 4. So you see it's your system-based calculator. If you're on Windows like I am, then it's going to be the Windows calculator. If you're on a Mac computer, then it's going to be your Mac calculator. In Windows 7, you also have your system-based magnifying tool. You would click on your applications, go to More Tools, and then Magnify. This does not display in Collaborate, but this is a tool that you can use to magnify your screen. This is not available on Mac. If you are using a Mac, then you just press the Control key and scroll up with your mouse or with your touchpad, and that'll do the same thing. So with Windows 7, you can access the magnifier using the applications button. File attachments, you saw me use that a little bit ago. You can use the left icon for thumbnail view right here, and then right next to that are the file attachments. File attachments are files that get added to your ink file. Makes it easy to link to them. It also makes it easier to share them and access them when you need them. You can attach many different file types to your Mimio ink file. As a matter of fact, you can anything that you can pull off of your computer, you can attach in there. So you can use this as a way to share files and to store them when you want to use them. This is something I do want you to keep in mind, that it will increase the overall file size of your ink file because it actually makes a copy of it. So you can put things like movies and videos and things like that in there, but do be aware that that increases the overall size of your ink file. It's really easy to add them in there. All you do is drag and drop them into the file attachment, and they show up right in here. So here's what we're going to do. I'm just going to attach some file types to this ink file. So I have a folder on my desktop that has some resources for us. So I'm going to go here into my desktop, and then I'm going to open up this folder. And I've got an Alaska video that I think I want to add in here. So I'm just going to click on that, drag it over here to my file attachments. You notice it turns into a plus sign. I let it go, and now my Alaska video is attached right here. I'm going to go back into my files. Maybe this time I want to put in the Daily Fix-It. That's already in there. So instead, let's put in the bubbles. So I'm going to click and drag the bubbles in there. That gets added in there. We've got all kinds of different things that we can do in there. It could be a gallery file, it could be media, it could be whatever it is that we want to add. We can attach those files into our notebooks. Screen annotation is something that you usually use outside of MimioStudio Notebook. So if you're working on Word documents, PowerPoint presentations, websites, other software, you would use screen annotation to show that, or to do that. So the way that we do this is we go into our tools, and then we click on the screen annotation button right here. So I'm going to pull up my web browser once again. I've got this map of the stars here. I'm going to set this up to where I want it to, where I've got my screen displayed, what I want to annotate. I click on my green button right here for screen annotation. It makes a sound on my end. It sounds kind of like a camera going off, and there's a green border that shows up all the way around my screen. Now I can annotate over the top of my screen, just as I have it right here. I can write on top of my web page. I have my activities that I'm doing here. When I'm done with that, then I can just click on my mouse mode, and my annotations disappear, but they're not gone completely. My screen annotations, when I add them in there, like I said, you have an audio and a visual reminder that you're in screen annotation mode. But like I said, when we complete our annotations, they go into our gallery. So I can pull up my gallery right now, open up screen annotations, and you'll see I've got my screen annotation right here from when I made this. So it saves them automatically into your gallery when you do that. So here again, just a quick demonstration. I'm going to open up this attached PDF. We will use our annotation tools to annotate over the top of it, and then we will close out of our annotations, and once again they're automatically saved in our gallery, so we don't have to worry about losing those. We can reuse them, save them, and use them however we need to. I have another file that I'd like to send to you, just like, oh no, you got the file at the very beginning. I would encourage you to use 3 interactive presentation applications within the next week. Use the Spotlight, Reveal, Screen Annotation, and Magnify. Also save some time finding other lessons and finding other lesson resources and attach them to Mimio lesson using your file attachment. There's also a challenge file that was sent to you at the beginning of the session. I encourage you to pick that up and practice with that. Of course, I would also encourage you to learn more from our other Quick Learn sessions. Mimio training, on-demand, and online resources you can find at Mimio.com. Reference guides, video tutorials, user guides, and other Quick Learn recordings just like this one. Also, it's worth checking out the live Quick Learn sessions. You can register for those at Mimio.com. Get a little bit more interactivity and a chance to practice this with a little bit of support. Mimio Connect is our interactive teaching community with free educational teacher-created resources that are aligned to state and Common Core standards. It's a large, active online community with Mimio Masters who can answer your questions directly. If you haven't already, please join us at MimioConnect.com. Here are the Mimio Classroom products. If you would like to get more information about them, you can contact your local sales rep or reseller for more information, or you can go to Mimio.com. And of course, you can always call us at 877-MyMimio. Here is a link to an assessment that would be good for an hour of professional development credit in your state or district, if that's the way that you operate. And thank you for your time this time around. Hope that this recording has been useful for you, and I hope that you've learned something. If you have any questions, you can contact us at training@mimio.com. Like us on Facebook at facebook.com/mimio.technology. Watch us on YouTube. And of course, follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/MimioTechnology.